Thanks for tuning in to Stay Gold Gun. Today we're just going to take a look at the field strip on the KH9 and we're going to compare it to its inspiration, the Italian sight Spectre. The lever on the back here looks almost like a paddle mag release. You would pull back on that and then that allows you to slide this forward. And the special 25 round magazine that comes with the KH9 has material relieved on the back spine of the magazine that allows it to slide in further so that you can do this sweet move where you just slide it into place. If you have a normal B&T 9mm magazine, it's not going to be able to do that unless you get to work with the Dremel. So take this apart, release the magazine, and then pop these two captive pins. And you can release the fire control group. Then you just push down on this rear cap and that will allow you to slide the guide rods, recoil springs, and this striker or linear hammer out. Then to remove the bolt, you put at the back of the travel and then a little bit forward, you can pull the charging handle out and then release the bolt. And there you have it. That's pretty simple. Put the side charging handle in. It functions similarly to this one, but it slides in the same way, but now you just have the ability to have a side charging handle, and I guess you could probably put it on the other side too. So if you'd rather have this type of charging handle, it's included with the gun. So it's a hell of a deal. I'm gonna take apart the Spectre. Take the magazine out, and then there's one pin that has a little spring keeper on it. You slide that up, pull this sling swivel out, then you push in on the rear cap, slide the fire control group out, then you press down on the rear sight and you can take the rear cap out, and out will slide your guide, recoil spring, linear hammer or striker, and the bolt comes straight out. So side by side here, you can really see how similar the two designs are. And especially in the fire control group, which both include the striker release that allows for a double action trigger pull for the first shot. They're not remarkably, because it's obvious they copied it, but they did a very earnest job of copying the original, and it's cool to see. One thing I'd like to point out is the KH9 Covert costs nearly $3,000, and for the same amount of money you can buy a used sight Spectre if you can find one. They're not super common, but they're around. They're on Gunbroker. Both guns will appreciate in value higher than most guns because there are limited numbers of each. I'm not sure exactly how many of the KH9 Coverts they're going to make, but there are only so many of the sight Spectres that were ever made and imported in the US, and there's also been in a lot of movies and video games. For pure collector value, you might be better off buying a Spectre than the B&T. But if you want something that functions the same way, that you don't have to worry about the parts wearing out on this old obsolete gun that you can't get parts for anymore, and you want to just shoot it a ton, I would say that the KH9 is definitely the way to go. I will mention also that when I was shooting my KH9 video, I did some more shooting with the Spectre, and shooting them side by side, I actually like shooting the Spectre a little bit more. Because this is all made out of sheet metal and the magazine's super heavy, how heavy the gun is really mitigates the little 9mm recoil that there is, and it's super pleasant to shoot. And even with just these kind of rudimentary iron sights that it has, I felt like I actually got better hits with the Spectre than I did with the KH9. So, I'm just putting that out there. One last point about comparing the KH9 to the Spectre is that if you wanted to SBR it, adding the stock to the KH9 is super easy. The stocks are all around. There may be as many stocks as there are guns. For the Spectre, I don't know how many stocks there are, but it's not many. I've never seen one for sale, and if you were to find one, I'm sure you'd have to pay a pretty penny for it. It's very cool. It folds over the top and locks in this recess here, and it would be amazing to have, but you would have to pay a ton of money to get one. So in that regard, definitely the KH9 would be the way to go. Although this video is a little on the technical and boring side, I hope that you got something out of it, and stay tuned for more cool stuff coming on the channel, and thanks for tuning in.